Hey, how's it going, everyone? Your host for tonight is again Azrael Frost. Well, then again, there would be no other host for this show, considering no one would ever want to do it. It's pretty crappy quality, obviously. So, yes, hi, back again, finally. If you're watching this right now, well, and you also watch my other videos, because hey, you probably came here from one of them, and you play Drakengard, Drakengard 3's out. And I actually have my copy. So that review is going to come out a while from now. I just need to finish Nier, remake this video because of the sound quality issues. So sorry I've been taking so long with that, trying to fix it. It's nonsense, didn't work. But hey, that doesn't matter. We're here today to talk about Drakenfantasy 2. And some of you are now saying, Azrael, what the hell are you talking about? The review says Drakengard 2. Well, yes, it does. Technically. You see, I don't believe this is Drakengard 2. I've never believed this is Drakengard 2. Because, let's see. Why would I not believe that? Well, here's a simple answer. No way is this simple answer. Drakengard 2 is Drakenfantasy because they replaced Final Fantasy character with... They replaced Kai with a Final Fantasy character. I don't know what they were thinking. But hey, that was what they did, so you gotta live with it. And I'm gonna also say another thing here quickly. When I say I don't like Noe, considering like the whole... I've said other times like I like Raiden from like Metal Gear Solid because I think he's a decent character, or Nero from Devil May Cry 4. I actually like those characters because I don't mind them, their personalities, anything like that. They're good characters. Oh god, my videos always start like this with me ranting and rambling about random things. But yes, I like those characters. I find Raiden an interesting and compelling enough character. Also, then again, considering I've started my Metal Gear Solid series thing with like Metal Gear Solid 3 where I was Big Boss, I guess I don't really care. So, okay, enough with that nonsense. We're talking about Drakengard 2 here. Sorry, I mean Drakenfantasy. Alright, I'll just stop that joke. I still believe it. I believe Drakengard 2 should actually have been the name of Nier, but that's just me. That's just me. That's really that is. Okay. So, what are the problems? What are the good things and the interesting things about Drakengard 2? Well, that's a good question. For me, there's not the world's most for Drakengard. Drakengard 2, that's great. Drakengard 2 is alright. It has its moments, but it has a lot of problems. I think this time around I'm going to start with one of the major problems that I find, which is the weapon system in this game, comparatively to what it was in Drakengard 1. Well, you might wonder what's the problem with this. Like, it's... In this system, we have a character switch, like... Or, before we had Kaim, he could use every weapon, and you used the weapons you liked. Well, that's good, that's fine, that works. All the weapons were interesting, they all had good stories. Not to say that these weapon stories in this game aren't good. These weapon stories are perfectly adequate. Oh wow, that doesn't sound that great in comparison to what other people might say, but hey, I like the weapon stories and all the weapons have character, so hey, that is something good. Mind you, when you level up a weapon in this game, it will not evolve, so it doesn't change form and add a little extra bit to it. It makes it... That's just a nice little thing. It adds something to it. That's why you did that in Drakengard 1. Another thing I also noticed, unfortunately I noticed this, most of the swords, like, I usually stuck to the swords in this game because, well, okay, axes are pretty good, so I use Yurik every once in a while, but Really, I was using the swords or staves if I had to. The staves have magic, and they have different magics, and that's what I like. But the swords all had either Sonic Burst or Sonic Dash, or it's like only a few swords had different magic. Almost all the swords had the same combos, which I'll give the game this. The combos look a lot better and keep you more interested. The Drakengard ones just slice, 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 attack, explosion magic. It's a lot more fluid and interesting to watch. Unfortunately, the magic is dull as hell because there isn't. It's just like wind slash, wind slash, wind slash. It doesn't add to this game. It's not a good thing. It just makes the combat a bit duller. It doesn't have that nice flair that Drakengard had with all of, like, crazy magics, or the healing sword, which is the greatest sword I've ever had, and I always would use it in Drakengard. So yeah, that is one thing. Okay, now for the weapon stories of these weapons I am speaking of. In Drakengard 2, they are a lot tamer than what they used to be in Drakengard 1. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind less dark stories. It's alright. But it also takes away from some of the flair of the weapons. I'm going to go with a few of my favorites here, and I also wrote down a little piece for a actual full story quote of the weapons from Drakengard 1 to 2 comparison. Wow, that sounded dull and uninteresting. Great. Alright, let's continue here. I'm going to talk about Glory's Bane first. If you've played Drakengard 1 and you've gotten to the end, as in all of them, you've seen Glory's Bane, that weird little sword that has like the blue leaf pattern on it. It looks cool. I actually like the sword's look. It's really interesting. It's amazingly well designed. It's a piece of junk because it's a short sword, but hey, it looks nice. Okay, so the story for this weapon is that any who would pick up this sword will be cursed by the horrible dream of dragons destroying your kingdom and killing your family and you, and everything you ever loved is destroyed, because this happened to the actual owner of the sword. So yeah, that kind of isn't actually that awesome, and the stories are all dark. Though in the story it says that you can break the curse if you have the power to fight and kill the dragon that caused this. None have ever done it though, so that remains to be seen. That's Drakengard 1's version of the story. In Drakengard 2, it starts off with a little girl who goes into the castle to kill the king and his vassals. When she gets there, the king and his vassals have already been killed by the dragon. The dragon asks, "Why are you here, young girl?" She says, "My father was once the king of this castle, but he was murdered by his vizier, I guess." I think that's the right word, but yeah. So, he was murdered by his head of state, whatever. And her and her mother were cast into the streets, and I think her mother also died of some disease. So she wanted to take back her kingdom, and she came to kill the king and his vassals. The dragon was impressed by this, pledged to help the girl, and she ruled happily with the dragon for many years to come. That sounds a lot nicer than the story I've told in the first of this, wouldn't you say? I mean, horrible curse, you're going to die of insomnia and nightmares, or happy kingdom ruled by a young girl and her dragon. Hell, the second story sounds a lot better. So, yeah, as you can see, some of the stories are a bit weaker. Not bad. That story I actually like. That was a very nice story. Now I'm going to talk about the weapon Slaughterism. Another one of my, well, no, this is one of my favorites, because I would always use this in Drakengard 1. The story of this weapon in Drakengard 1 is about a painter who goes and murders people and uses their blood to try and create the most beautiful and interestingly visual styled paintings you'll ever see. And it was true, he made amazing paintings, but everyone undervalued his work. So in the end, seeing that his work was undervalued and he was fraught with horrible guilt from all the murders he'd done just to get the paints, he'd gone insane and he killed dozens of people until turning the blade upon himself to draw his greatest masterpiece. In Drakengard 2, it's about a crazy man who's obsessed with blood. I'm literally, that's basically it. If you read it, just look online, type in Drakengard wiki, anything. Find Slaughterism, read the story, and he'll just be, oh, well, that is about a crazy guy who's addicted to blood. Wow, I didn't notice my Coke cans were in the back there. Oh well. Okay, so is this a problem? Well, yeah, it kind of kills the weapon because, well, it doesn't. It's just really disappointing when something you really like is just cut down and left so dull and uninteresting that it doesn't have what it once did. Okay, so I said I was going to read a comparison piece for actual weapons and have that here. I'm going to read the most vicious weapon story in Drakengard and listen to the comparison in Drakengard 2. Alright, this is Carrion Maker, and this is Drakengard 1's piece. During the first moon, smashed the legs of 100 men, women, and children. During the second moon, it smashed the arms of 100 men, women, and children. During the third moon, it smashed the heads of 100 men, women, and children. During the fourth moon, nothing was left but a lake of blood, and the mace dripping with liquefied flesh. So, this weapon story sounds like a bunch of bandits, or perhaps the Empire, took over a village and systematically tortured the entire 300 occupants of said village for 4 days. Well, 3 days, technically. So, yeah. You can see that being kind of dark, disturbing. Then again, the first game kind of was a bit more dark and disturbing. A horrible war with a nebulous empire that was controlled by a small little girl controlled by the gods. Yeah, okay, that's kind of fucked. So, yeah. Alright. I'll now read the second verse that comes from Drakengard 2. The Iron Club was placed at the corner of a torture chamber. After prisoners had been subjected to every conceivable form of torture, it would make an appearance. With their bodies in mutilated ruins, victims longed for the club's fatal blow, an end to the pain. With toothless mouths they would wail, the club, please show me the club. And like a bloody angel, the Iron Club would answer their prayer. The weapon turned its victims into meat with a single crushing blow, and waited in silence for the next prayer. Caked in flesh and blood, it came to resemble the bodies it violated. Now, yes, I'll admit, that story is indeed equally dark, comparingly. But compared to the first one, which was used to eradicate a village, kind of genocide-y, this one was used as the gods to send people away from torture. Their last prayer to not be tortured anymore. It's just an instant death. Like, just kill me, please. I can't take anymore. That basic idea. So, if you think about it, the weapon story is still a hell of a lot nicer than the first one. So, okay. That's basically most of the stories for these. It's basically the same thing. There's a few new weapons in this series that have slightly interesting stories, like the Pitch Black Weapon, which is a story of a man who just goes around killing things, and he kills a bunch of people who were going to either rape or murder a girl. And then when she's thanking him, he smiles to himself. He's like, "Oh, I did a good deed," and he kills her. It's just what he does. He knew nothing else. So, yeah. That's basically what that is, so okay. Now what else? What else? For weapons, I can't really say much else. There's really just the magic's kind of become dull. The weapon stories are a bit tamer. And they don't change shape when they level up, so hey, that's all you really get for weapons. There's not much else to say. Also, stabs are garbage, and since No Way can't use every weapon, it's kind of disappointing. Because you lose characters during playthroughs, so it's kind of annoying. If you like certain weapons, you can't use them. Like, you can buy weapons, but let's say you're playing this for the first time, you buy a spear, you can't use spears, only Eris can use spears. That's annoying. Or you find a weapon and it's a spear, or a staff, or an axe. You can't use any of this shit if you only have one character, you can only use one weapon. It's like, well, fuck. What else do I do now? I stick with a sword. Mind you, you have a dragon you can jump on and burn things with, so hey, you still have something. But it's kind of disappointing, and it kind of makes you wonder, why would they use Noe, who seems to apparently be not as badass as our previous protagonist? Considering Kaim could use every weapon in the game, yeah, that's kind of disappointing. Okay, so now let's get to some character here. Well, let's see, Noe. What is Noe? Well, he's your average Final Fantasy whiny bitch of a protagonist. Yeah, I summed him up basically there. There's a few interesting things about Noe. Let's see. And no, not that weird dragon-born whatever nonsense that they have. Dragon Child. Okay, I remember. But yeah, seriously, that was pulled out of their asses. That was nonsense. Okay, but there is something about Noe. If you ever wondered who Noe's father and mother actually are, Noe's actual mother and father would be Inuart and Furiai. Yeah, you know, the dead girl from the last game who was Kaim's sister. And one thing here, if you want to take a look at some pictures and try and compare, I literally shit you not, this is my personal opinion, but it looks like Noe is just the male version of Furiai. I've actually looked a few of these up. I looked to compare, and it's really, really hard to say that he's not. So it's kind of like they took Furiai. It's like, okay, we'll take her, let's fix a few things here, and then male protagonist. We're done. Oh god, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. Alright, so yeah. Noe is the son of Inuart and daughter, son of Inuart and Furiai. Daughter. Nope, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, so technically, if you're wondering how that happened, you know, in Drakengard, when you have the second ending where you follow Inuart when he leaves with Furiai, and he puts her into the seed of resurrection. Well, yeah, that happens, except he gets in with her instead of putting her in, and she turns into a giant monster. When they both get in, they combined into the same person. Well, or they combine together and create an actual child, even though Furiai is dead. It's kind of like composting of people. I don't get it. It's some interesting, really nonsensical stuff, but hey, that happens, and Noe is born. So that also means something about Legna, who is, of course, Noe's companion dragon and surrogate father. That means Noe's dragon is Inuart's black dragon. So at the end, when you're wondering why Legna turns evil, turns is a strong word there. So yeah, Legna was always technically evil, I guess. Noe is also very similar to his father, considering he follows Mana around and destroys the world. Let's see, what else can we add to make Noe kind of a dick? Oh yeah, murdering your only living relative. Because if you think about this, if he is the son of Inuart and Furiae, that means Kaim is his uncle, who you kill multiple times. Oh, my. So yeah, a few fun things about Noe. It's like literally, what the hell, man? You kill your uncle, you destroy the world like your father did. It's basically, oh my god, it's basically like you're playing Drakengard 1, except from the perspective of Inuart. That's not a good thing. Because I didn't like Inuart. I liked him more than I liked Leonard, but I still don't like Inuart. He's really just a whiny bitch. Like his son. Oh god. Well, that makes so much more sense now. Let's see. Other characters. Eris. Eris is trying to be the new Furiae. She's a bit more interesting, considering the whole, she actually fights with you, she has a character and such, and is not incestuous like Furiae. Actually, I think that lent more to Furiae's character. But yeah, Eris is kind of dull, and really you don't have much else to say about her. I never did, at least. It was like, okay, Eris is here. Eris is saying things. Eris is saying boring things. Why am I still listening to Eris? Don't care, kill things. That's basically how that went. Now Mana, on the other hand, is just like, I don't understand how you forget that you tried to kill the world. No, I don't understand that, or believe you could. Because Kaim literally dragged her ass around, showing her what she did wrong. You know what she did after that? Went back, forgot everything, and did it all again. You want to know the funniest thing? If Kaim had just killed her, we wouldn't have had to deal with this, and possibly would have gotten a better game out of it. But yeah, no, that is not how that went. So Mana comes back, joins Noe, and becomes the love interest. Wow. Just wow. Like, I don't know what to say to that. And if you do, please enlighten me, because I can't. It's hard, man. It's hard to care about Mana or Noe. I care about Yurik, because Yurik's just cool. Yurik comes in, he wears a mask, he just randomly kills people, and he's like, hey, I'm awesome. I also have a giant scar. I'm also hanging out with the Grim Reaper, which is his pact partner. So hey, that's something. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Mana ever had a pact partner, so that's another dull, uninteresting thing. Okay, so yeah. Let's go back to Yurik now. Yurik was more of an interesting character, considering he comes around with you in the game, helping you destroy the seals that hold the world in place. Although the fact that he is a guardian of one of the seals himself, that's interesting dilemma now, because you're helping the friend, your son, the sorry, he's helping his dead friend's son. And basically, he's helping Orr's kid, kind of, adoption, general Orr dead, yeah. So helping that idiot out to kill the seals that you have literally bound your life to. That doesn't exactly make the world's most sense now, does it? So, yeah, that's a silly bit of nonsense for Yurik to do, but he does it, he helps out, and gets killed by Kaim in the end at his own seal, and then Kaim kills the Grim Reaper. Yeah, we're not going to question that one. Ever. Let's just not question how you killed Death and Death still happens. Mind you, there were tons of Reapers in the first game, so okay, that's basically simplified. So yeah, Yurik was a good character. If they did more with him, I actually do kind of feel that most of the characters in Drakengard 2 were like really, really badly characterized. Because I can remember Kaim's characterization. Hell, I can remember Leonard's characterization, Arioch's. I can remember Ciri's. It's this thing that this game just feels so weak compared to the others. Like, the story is at best. Because, like, there's 3 endings, and you only get them from playing from all 3 difficulty settings. It's like, really, that's all you got? Yeah, sure, alright, fine. I like the other one. The other one, you had to find all weapons, and you had to dedicate yourself to actually get the last ending. Which then allowed you to get a fighter jet as a dragon. So, hey, that was kind of fun. Or it would have been if my game didn't complete itself, but hey. Shouldn't dwell in the past. Alright, so the other characters really are the bosses. Zhang-Po, oh god, the bosses are even uninteresting. Let's see, we have the guy who was always hungry because of his pact with whatever the fuck he had a pact with. I don't even think you fight him, he just gets killed by somebody else. I think Kaim did it, I'm not sure, can't remember anymore. So yeah, he was always hungry because of his pact. He was an angry short guy, and he died somewhere, sometime, at some place. Yeah, see, I really didn't care about the bosses in this game. Only Kaim. Only Kaim was a good boss to care about. And even then, it was just... well, he got it when the game was good, so, yeah. What else do we have to say? There's Yaha, I'm not sure, he might... Like, the guy was interestingly strange, to say the least. Had that weird relationship with Yurik. Not really sure on that one. It was a thing. It was a thing. That was a thing. He was entertaining. Some fun quips and such, and just... The boss fight was alright, so hey, he was decent enough to remember. The water chick... She was an annoying fight. She was kind of creepy, always wet. Though, mind you, she was once apparently very beautiful till she was like the beautiful and well-mannered, very cute little things. She's basically the anime version. She's basically the video game version of the anime girl who's like, oh, I'm the perfect wife girl idea. Till she fell in a lake and was drowning. And to save her life, she made a pact with, well, Kelpie, that weird freaking fish monster you have to fight. That fight was annoying, considering you were locked in a small area. If you're going to do an aerial boss, don't ever do that. That's just my thing. I don't like the aerial bosses that much, because they're a pain in the ass. But hey, she was alright. She actually had character, and I actually cared to learn about it. Now let's get to really, like, the last main character is, well, Grismore, because he's alive. But Grismore doesn't have anything interesting, because Grismore is just a dick. And he's just a dick for the sake of being a dick. It's like, hey, no way, I killed General Orr, your adoptive father. Well, technically Khan killed him, but I poisoned him to make him weaker in the battlefield. To which No Way responds by turning into the Dragon Child and cutting his arm off. Also, he gave No Way the poison wine. That was, yeah, kind of a dick thing to do, but hey. It just led to his death. Which is really strange if I recall, because he destroyed his own seal trying to kill No Way, which failed miserably, so he performed suicide and you didn't really kill him yourself. Yeah, okay, that was stupid, but you know what? Grismore was never an interest. It was just, he was generic. He was ridiculously generic. Like, I'm evil for evil. I'm evil because I want power. I'm evil because I think I'm the best. It's the only thing he had. Also, his pact partner was a shade, so he kind of had some whole weird shadow magic nonsense. I don't think it made his fight any more difficult. It was just, okay, go up and smack the fuck out of him. That was your fight. The hardest battle in this game was fighting Angelus. Like, that was a fight. That was a boss fight. That was in itself a challenge, because fighting Angelus is hard as hell in that game. And actually, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense that it would be hard. Considering Legna, being the black dragon that Inuart rode on, never was able to beat you in the first game. It just makes sense. It makes sense that you would technically have a very challenging time against a berserking red dragon who kicked your ass before. So, yeah, it was that. Fight with Kime. Fight with Kime was also pretty... Yeah, who am I kidding? That wasn't really that bad. Kime looked cool, and he had really good, like, intro pieces for his thing, like, few good cutscenes. But really, he wasn't that impressive. He was alright, he's always good, he was a challenging fight, but he wasn't as impressive. Mind you, he never died when No Way killed him, so he's still better than No Way was. And I'm going to stop that for a second, because here's the thing. If you think about this logically for a second, that Kime is a master of all weapons, can literally kill a battalion of men with one sword swing. That's not speculation either. It shows that in one of the cutscenes. And, generally is probably stronger than No Way, has had more experience than No Way. Do you guys really think No Way could have beat Kime? The most No Way could have done was hold him off and maybe get the hell out. But I don't believe he could really beat Kime. That's just me, because I say, again, Kime's favorite character, that's just how it is. So, okay. Now, we've dissected the weapons, the characters, the boss fights. Now, what's the last thing we have to say? Well, the story. Now, what is the story, really? It's basically, if I think about it now, kind of a retread of Drakengard 1. You are destroying the seals, but you think you're helping people. That's what No Way and Mana think they're doing. It doesn't happen. They think they're doing that. So, to basically say it, no, they're not. Mana is doing what she did last time, and you're helping her. Instead of you guys go, hey, let's go save that seal. Oh, we got to the seal. Seal's broken. Hey, let's go save the goddess. Found the goddess. Goddess is dead. Or, oh, my sister just killed herself in front of me. I guess you're doing a tiny bit more in the end, but it's basically you're just playing the evil side instead of the good. Mind you, the good guys are still kind of douchebags and basically bastards, so they're not any better than you are. No, it's kind of funny. They're not. They are really. It's comparatively saying that you, who is trying to destroy the world, is doing more good still. Because, sure, what people are sacrificing are Empire soldiers, but the Empire soldiers were under the mind control of Mana, who was under the mind control of the gods. Yeah. That's basically all you got out of it. It's not really that interesting. It's like, go to this place, kill some people, destroy a seal, you're done. Go to the next place. Listen to some story, destroy another seal, you're done. Go to this place, Yurik dies, destroyed seal. You also beat Kaim. Good job with that. It just kind of gets repetitively dull and uninteresting. And the ending's just kind of, okay, where the fuck did this come out of? Like, you are the dragon child. You will fight the gods with us, says Legna. No, wait, no, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. And then Legna turns on you, and then you kill Legna, and then Eris gets locked away to become the next goddess because Angelus is dead along with Kaim. Second ending involves something about a bone casket. I never got this far because I didn't care enough. And, let's see. Bone casket, weird kind of Simon Says gameplay nonsense. Dead Mana, fight the gods with the holy dragons. Okay. And the last ending is bone casket, fight, go into Mana's mind and kill her insecurities, and then you kill Legna and the gods, and the world is saved, and there's no more dragons or gods, and you just kind of killed the series. No, I'm serious, they kill the series with Drakengard 2. Because after you do this, you kill the gods and the dragons. What else do you have? Random monsters? No. You have magic swords and armies, and you are obviously better equipped than them. So you take care of the interesting bits. There is nothing to Drakengard. It literally killed any chance of the series being able to continue beyond Drakengard 2's idiotic point placement. That is why Nier was made. Nier was made because Drakengard 2 walked into a wall and exploded. I don't know why it did. I don't know what they were thinking. I usually think Kaguya can do some pretty decent things after Drakengard 1, but apparently not there. So, yeah. That really is the sad thing to say about it. It's like you can't continue Drakengard in Drakengard's own universe. Nier was made because it's a split branch where Kaim goes into our world and gets killed by an F-14. And, you know, if you bring something into, well, let's say a different environment, let's say a magical being from a different universe and a dragon. Oh boy, what viruses and diseases can we spread? Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? So, if there's anything else that you folks may wish me to talk about for Drakengard 2, please comment. I may make an addendum to this video, add some extra bits. But really, I have nothing much else to say. Drakengard 2 is just not as impressive as what came before. The combat system, I'll admit, is a good deal better, because the combos are a tad bit more fluid, more interesting. But really, characters are weaker. Kaim is just kind of a wall to beat. He's not a character in this. He's just, oh my god, look at how badass this guy is. We already know Kaim's badass. We played as Kaim. He's badass. It's just obvious. So, there is one thing, actually, I do forget. Ciri. In this game, Ciri's basically what he was in the last. He's the Hierarch now, and he runs the mystical order of the Seal Knights. Well, technically, he's the Hierarch. He is the new Vertile, considering Kaim killed Vertile. Oh yeah, Kaim killed Vertile for inducing more pain on Angelus with the seals, because he decided to strengthen them like a dick. So yeah, Ciri's the new Hierarch. I wouldn't say new Vertile, because no one wants to be the new Vertile, that cowardly bastard. Also, I think he grew taller. So, again, memory, spotty, kind of just me. But, if any of you really wish me to continue this topic for Drakengard, if you want, sure, I might pick it up again. Maybe I'll see if I can change my opinion, but for the moment, I will say to those of you who are playing Drakengard 3, I hope you enjoy yourself. Tell me what you think about, well, basically this review, perhaps even Nier, which one you might think is better. Yeah, anything you want to say about that? Hell, talk about your fun experience with Drakengard 3, though, mind you, I will not be playing it till I'm done Nier, because I'm not going to taint the experience and start bringing that in before Nier is done, because that would just be bad to do for the review, in my opinion. So, yeah. Well, till then, everybody, this is Azrael Frost signing out, and you folks have a very good day, evening, or, whatever, and I will see you all later. Ta-ta for now.